Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh and very good day to everyone. Today I will present my paper. The title is Ungku Omar Polytechnic Lecturers Awareness Evaluation and Acceptance of Curriculum Information Document Online System. My name is Azrahayu Abdul Aziz and my colleague Aminah Bibi Bawa Mohide. We are from Department of Information and Communication Technology, Ungku Omar Polytechnic, Ipoh. E-learning is a form of virtual learning where teaching and learning are carried out in outline. The online learning experience has opened up the space of the full use of educational technology and made the demand for internet services increase. The scope of this research is to focus on the effectiveness of e-learning system and learning environments, especially at the higher education level. This online-based e-learning technology is a very effective teaching and learning alternative. The effectiveness of an e-learning system depends on the teaching and learning model used, whether it is able to meet the teaching and learning requirement or not. The education system has been challenged by the explosion of information and the enormous technological advancement. Particularly, the power of digital and computing, which have also impacted the paradigm of learning. This study's significance is in determining the degree of awareness, evaluation, and acceptance of e-learning among lecturers as a tool for enhancing the teaching and learning process. Higher education institutions now use a wide variety of electronic learning tools or e-learning. Although lecturers and students do not have to physically be present in the classroom for teaching and learning process, this does not imply that the learning process will be ineffective and negatively impact the standard of education. In addition, the COVID-19 pandemic, which spread around the world about 2 years ago, disrupted normal communication and commerce. The significance of online communication has grown as a result of the circumstance. One of the sectors most impacted by the COVID-19 pandemic is education. The majority of nations, including Malaysia, have completely replaced traditional classroom teaching and learning with online teaching and learning. Internet usage in the educational process is thus now mandatory and not an option. The study's goal is to examine how well versed lecturers are in the principles of e-learning as they apply to the teaching and learning process. In contrast, the research is interested in how the readiness of self-directed learning and e-learning comprehension relate in terms of the lecturer's evaluation component. The study's ultimate goal is to determine whether lecturers are content with e-learning in general. The following are the research questions that will be studied in this research, which are: first, the level of self-directed learning readiness of lecturers in making e-learning as part of the new teaching aids in their teaching and learning process. Second, the level of understanding about the Cidos e-learning concept. Third, the level of understanding regarding their responsibility as lecturers in the implementation of Cidos e-learning. And four, the factors that affect the implementation of Cidos e-learning. For the research objectives are: firstly, identify the level of awareness of lecturers toward at the use of Cidos at Ungku Ungku Omar Polytechnic. Secondly, identify the level of acceptance of lecturers towards the implementation of Cidos at Ungku Omar Polytechnic. And thirdly, identify the level of acceptance of the use of Cidos among Ungku Omar Polytechnic lecturers. Two types of data that will be collected are primary data and secondary data. Primary data will be collected using a survey as a data collection method. A set of structured questionnaire will be prepared for the selected respondent. Meanwhile, secondary data will be collected from print media such as books, magazines, journals, and the internet. E-learning, also known as M-learning or mobile learning, in general, is type of distant learning take place online using the internet as a conduit between instructor and student. E-learning is still mostly unheard of as novel strategy in Malaysian education, especially in the context of teaching education. Most definitions of e-learning emphasize the type of technology and pedagogy used at the national and international level. The type of technology in question refers to computers, CD-ROMs, electronic devices, and the internet. Cidos, short form for Curriculum Information Document Online System, is a type online learning management system. The web-based learning management system is an internet application program that is quickly being adopted by computer software providers and academic institutions as a foundation for the execution of e-learning initiatives. Cidos allows lecturers to post notes, exercises, quizzes, tests, and assignments, review student work, administer online tests, and facilitate online forums or discussion with students. While the Cidos perform the role of the student, it allows students to download notes, tutorial, and assignment, upload assignment to be sent to lecturers, perform tests online at the predetermined time period, and students are also allowed to participate in discussion or forum organized by lecturers. The biggest issue in Malaysia is access to ICT, which 83% of people in rural regions and 60% of individuals in urban areas regard as prohibitively expensive. Half of Malaysia's 1.5 million internet users reside in Selangor and the Federal Territory. Due to this circumstance, there is a sizable digital gap in Malaysian culture. Users may experience problems with a poor access line or no connection to the internet. Access barriers to digital services were categorized into four, namely mental access. This explains the lack of basic digital experience due to a lack of interest other than in uninteresting new technology. Second, material access. Describe the lack of access due to the lack of equipment and services such as computer hardware and networks. 3. Access to skill. This explains the lack of digital skill due to user-unfriendly technology and a lack of education, training, or social support. And fourth, access to use explains the lack of opportunities to use the internet that is barriers to access to digital services. Teaching and learning material have high costs for either telecommunication infrastructure, hardware, or software. As a result, the difficulties associated with the cost of materials or infrastructure are also highlighted. The cost of fixing a broken computer should also be taken into account because one original piece of software is only allotted for one computer. The required software must be original and cannot be obtained from the regular market or be pirated. Additionally, our nation is dealing with the problem of computer labs that are either incomplete or finished but unsafe to use. Due to the exorbitant cost of the government tenders used to build this computer lab, the situation is extremely detrimental and wasteful. The results of previous studies show that the facilities of information and communication technology used by educators are high, but the frequency of educators using the facilities and equipment of information and communication technology that have been provided in the teaching and learning process is moderate. While the internet connection experiencing interruption is the main constraint to the needs and use of information and communication technology in the teaching and learning process. This situation creates problem for the activity of obtaining teaching and learning materials online. Issues involving lecturers not applying knowledge gained during the courses attended, as well as not making enough preparation due to increased workload and insufficient time, also have an impact on the implementation of e-learning in Malaysia. They need to equip themselves with up-to-date knowledge and access to technology, as well as quality teaching materials. In addition, lecturers need to have different learning style for students in order to attract more attention and interest. Almost all higher education institutions, 87.5%, that have an e-learning policy have their respective implementation plans and require the use of e-learning among their lecturers and students. One half or four higher education institutions have had their e-learning policy in place for more than 3 years. Three have had it for 3 years, and one has had it for less than a year. The amount of time spent online at home by grade youth between the age of 12 and 18 is insufficient to satisfy learning goals because it is low. Internet usage is a significant social and economic stratification indicator. The main causes of students not having access to the internet at school are typically familial ones, such as lower level of education, lack of personal computers, living in remote places, or inadequate information and communication technology skills. The elements influencing how well e-learning technologies are used by students in higher education institutions are examined. In order to observe and assess the efficiency of the use of e-learning system in their learning process, the students were chosen at random from among those enrolled in diploma and degree granting courses. For this study, four-factor response and satisfaction, learning outcomes and achievement, comfort with online learning technology, and engagement and involvement were chosen as variable. It was discovered that responsiveness and happiness, learning outcomes and achievement, and student comfort level with online learning technology are all significantly influenced by how effective e-learning is. The variable of involvement and participation have no appreciable impact on the students' e-learning platform. To overcome this problem, they suggest that higher education institutions interested in introducing this e-learning system focus on the aspect of student response and satisfaction. E-learning also needs to focus on e-learning outcomes and student achievement. Each educational institution also needs to study other issues that are common to students in the use of e-learning technology before assessing whether students are comfortable with the application of the e-learning system. The research method that will be used by the researcher is a quantitative method in form of descriptive research or survey research. Quantitative research is use quantitative information or data. Quantitative data can be measured through a measurement process and require measurement tools such as questionnaire. The quantitative data that will be measured is in the form of numbers. The research that will be carried out is in the form of a survey study in which the researchers' response will be collected using a set of questionnaire. The questionnaire will be distributed to Ungku Omar Polytechnic lecturers. Researchers perform a random sample selection method in which all entities in the population have a probability of being selected as a sample. The sampling method used by the researcher are layered random sampling or stratified random sampling. The research sample targeted comprised 99 lecturers from only 2 departments. A total of 11 male lecturers and 32 female lecturers are from the Department of Mathematics, Science and Computers, while a total of 14 male lecturers and 42 female lecturers are from the Department of Information and Communication Technology. This survey study will use a questionnaire as a research tool. Research can be conducted using questionnaire that are answered by respondents. The advantage of a questionnaire is that respondents can take the appropriate time to answer the questionnaire. This study has been classified as quantitative research. Quantitative method investigate why and how a decision is made. The data obtained from questionnaire will be analyzed using SPSS software through descriptive statistical techniques. Descriptive analysis data can be obtained from frequency, percentage, mean, and standard deviation. In general, it anticipates that this study will be able to gauge the degree of lecturers' familiarity with the Cidos e-learning concept. This study also intends to determine the level of acceptance of Cidos used among lecturers themselves, as well as the level of acceptance of Cidos implementation among lecturers as a whole. If the findings indicate that lecturers have a moderate to low degree of awareness of the usage of Cidos, the result of this study should be used to identify future improvement efforts. That's all from me, and thank you.